So his draft stock has been diminishing because he has not done a single workout for any team in the NBA. He believes that he's going to be a top 3 player in the draft and wants to be selected by a team that will provide a clear path to stardom. And I'm going to read this quote right here. Bailey's pre-draft workout strategy has been perplexed some observers as he has yet to conduct a single known workout to date, having declined invitations from several teams within his draft range. Sources say Bailey's camp has informed interested teams that they believe he's a top 3 pick in the draft, but also seeks a clear path to stardom, perhaps feeling comfortable that a team will trade up to get him at number 3 or 4 should he drop. So, if you guys don't understand, he's wanting a team that is a contender right now, a team that was in the playoffs, to trade up for the number 3, 4, or 5th pick to try to get him, right? But it's been looking like since he's not working out for any team, his draft stock has been going down and down, and he might get to the middle or the end of the first round. With all that being said, CEO, how do you feel about this situation?
Poor timing for this kid. I think realistically, you look at a team like Philly, he could easily end up if things had just gone as they were going to go. That's a team that could be on a little rebuild out of nowhere. Like, I'm not saying they're just going to blow everything up, but Paul George could easily be gone. There's a lot of rumors of that, right? Ace Bailey could be playing there alongside Maxi and Embiid when he's healthy, which is not often, but still, even if he's not, that's more time for him. And if you look at the league, as I mentioned earlier in some things, it's very young and it's very balanced. Probably the most it's ever been, right? 7 champions, 7 years. That's the first time ever in NBA history. This is not the time to try to take teams and put them in a position of pressure to add you in and force your development. Right? You need to go play, stop talking, and just get the job done. Because there's not that many teams that you're going to have this opportunity to put up 25 points because they're bad anymore. Right? Like Washington, sure. Even the Hornets, bad team, but they got LaMelo. They don't need you to do that. Like, where are you going that you're going to show? Well, I'll show them. This team is, you know, way in the gutter. I'm going to turn them around myself. And then look, you should have had me. You could have had me on that contending team. Look at all the contending teams. The Knicks don't need him. The Celtics don't need him. You know, Indiana doesn't need him. Even, where are you going to go that you're going to put so much developing time in any of the top 10 teams in the league, any of the playoff teams? No playoff team right now, I would say, adds Ace Bailey and is all of a sudden like just this next tier team within a year or two. I don't think he just necessarily fits minutes wise into any of the contending teams right now. I think his best route was to just stay quiet, go to Philly, a team that's not a true gutter team that just had a lot of injuries and was able to have a good pick and luck into some madness in the first place. Like, this is not a good look. 3, 4 years ago, you could have got away with it because there was a lot of bad teams and there were a lot of teams that were one piece away, youth wise, maybe, right? But I don't like talkers in the first place, perspective wise. And you look at guys like Drummond and all these past players that do all these coaching videos, talking to kids and talk about how they didn't stay in the league because they had a bad attitude, because they were a problem, because they were perceived to have a problem. Carmelo Anthony couldn't stay in the league because he was perceived to be a problem, even though he wasn't even saying anything. Imagine you're not Carmelo Anthony, you're not even Drummond at this point. It's an opportunity just to really devalue yourself and find yourself at the end of a bench, not getting playing time because you're not ready for the season.
Yeah, yeah. Two things for me, right? And you said one. One, it's not a good look at all. It's not a good look at all. I feel like players that do this feel very entitled, and it's definitely a bad look. Two, his logic doesn't make sense to me, right? So explain the first one. If you're a player that feels like you are the king coming out and you feel like you're going to be top 3, top 4, top 5 in the draft, and you feel like you can do whatever it takes to make any team good, and you have this mindset of like, you know what, I'm not going to prove myself anymore because I've already proved myself. It's a horrible look for the players in the draft with him. It's a horrible look for the players that are upcoming next year in the draft and the year after that. And it's horrible for the young kids that are playing basketball who are trying to make it into the NBA. It's not a mentality that you want. It's a mentality for losers, in my opinion. Because if you feel that you are the king and you can go toe to toe with anybody, why not prove it in a workout? Why not go to the workout and show that you are the man and give assurance to these teams on like, yo, he really is, who he says he is, and I think we should draft him. But since you're not doing that and you're not doing the workouts and you think that you're entitled to being the top 5 pick without doing anything for what is normally done for NBA teams, these teams are going to be like, I don't know. What if in these few months he hasn't been working out? What if he hasn't been working on his skill? What if he hasn't been working on his mental? Because a lot comes from the mental side of it. Like if your basketball IQ is up there, you will get to all-star level. You will get to superstar level. You will get to Hall of Fame level, right? So what if he's not doing all of that and these teams are like, I don't know. Like he's showing that right now he's not proving himself. Yeah, he proved himself in college, but what has he been doing since then? I want to see it portrayed in front of me. And that's what they do with these workouts, right? The second thing, his plan of not working out because he wants a team to trade up for the 3rd, 4th, or 5th pick to get him to the stardom level, right? If these teams are at the end of the draft, just like how you mentioned, these teams are already good. They don't need a player like that. There's a reason why they got to where they got to. And if you think that one of these teams would be like, yo, I'm going to draft a young buck to help us out to win NBA playoff games, get us to the conference finals and get us to the NBA finals, y'all tripping. Because these dudes don't know what it takes to get to that level yet. And they would use their assets and their time for someone else around the league who knows what it takes to get to this time of month, April, May, June, to get to the NBA finals. Why would they waste it on a player that doesn't know how to get there when they could waste it on players that do know how to get there? So, my opinion, like you said, it's a bad look. They feel entitled. You shouldn't feel entitled. You should prove yourself. And two, the strategy is just not there. I don't really understand.
They're not. It's not even like Cooper Flag can get away with that. Clayton Jr.
Right.
can get away with that, right?
Right.
He's not Cooper Flag, but he had a show out. You know this, and I love college basketball. I watch college basketball. Big Syracuse fan. I watched the whole season. I watch every game. That's Syracuse basketball, right? I'm not like waiting for the tournament, but 90% of people are waiting for the tournament. You were not a tournament darling. You were nothing that stood out that made me believe like, hey, and I know he's a great player. I knew of him. I believe he's a good player as well. But you were nothing that America saw that we need to just jump out our screen and pay the heavy price. You get 7 guys in rotation, an NBA playoff rotation. Every team that made the playoffs this year has showed they had 7 or 8 guys that can play. The Knicks went to short rotation. That didn't work out. They extended it, started to look a little better. Even those guys have more value than Ace Bailey does right now, even with their price tag being cheap. So there's just, like I said, it doesn't make sense at all. Just show up. You can't talk the talk until you've walked the walk.
Exactly.
And he's just backwards.
You have not done anything yet in the league, bro. You need to prove yourself still. I'm sorry. Like how you mentioned that was a good point. I didn't even think about that. Even Cooper Flag is not doing that shit. And you think that you're gonna do it? Like, nah, bro. Nah. Get your ass in the fucking workout and prove yourself.
Crazy.
Doesn't make sense.